LATD Nation, welcome back to this channel here. Of course, you know, it's your boy, the big man, big plan, so grand, make the whole world stand. Haven't done that in a while, so shit. Of course, I got my boy.
RG from the 843 with y'all as always, back in here with another one.
Yes, sir. So today we're going to be looking at the details of The Last of Us, Episode 5, Season 2.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. We did season 2 episodes 1 through 4 already.
Kind of like the mid-season kind of recap because we were too lazy to review it episode for episode for the first.
But we're not too lazy this time, goddammit. So let's go. Ting. So anyway,
we here now.
Exactly. So what'd you think of the episode, dog?
So I'll say for me personally, this is probably my favorite episode of the season yet. I think, and that could be in part due to the fact that they're getting into the Seattle stuff, which is the bulk of really my favorite Last of Us content, period, across both games. So it could be biased on that. But I really like what they're doing with it as far as kind of giving that atmospheric sort of sense of dread, like the whole city feels against Ellie and Dina as they're making their way into the city for revenge, whatever. Because the last episode ended off with them having an idea of where Nora might be. And them kind of, this episode is them continuing in the city looking for clues as to find her, basically. So, you know, it really starts from there, and that's pretty much the majority of the episode. Them kind of making their way through the city. They encounter the WLF. They encounter the stalkers, or the smart ones, as Ellie's been referring to them across this season. And it was a pretty good action sequence, I'm not going to lie. That was pretty effective horror, in my opinion.
Now, one thing about this episode I did enjoy, I agree, was the horror elements, most definitely. A pattern that I'm realizing with these episodes is the fact that they start off very kind of expedition type and very kind of slow, but then as time goes on, like that's when the energy starts to ramp up a little bit, because this episode starts off with like the official leader of the WLF, like in episode, the lady that what's his name, Isaac meets in episode 4, like at the very beginning, like with that 7-year flashback or something like that, 7 year, 15 years, something like that.
It was maybe around that. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember.
Right. So, but all I know is this before the events of this game, of this show. So, game, you know. But yeah, it starts off like that, but then it goes to Ellie and Dina, like, and something that keeps bothering me. Ellie keeps being so happy. Go like, "Hi, Dina, what are we doing today?" Like they're
really.
Like, what are we doing today?
Like I said in the previous episode, they're really selling this almost like a romantic getaway, because, you know, these two are talking about they love each other. They're kind of making plans, kind of all, you know, lovey-dovey. I'm like, nigga,
exactly.
Y'all forget why y'all here?
Exactly, because my thing is, like, the story itself ain't even bad. It's what they do with Ellie and Dina. Because in this one, Dina's very much more of the pragmatic, want to get stuff done, you know what I'm saying? Very much like that on the revenge type of, like in this episode especially.
Which to be fair, I feel like with how they did her in the game versus the show, maybe you could argue there's a bit of an improvement, because she has a lot more of a dog in the fight. She's not just there to support Ellie. Yeah. She's there because her basically probably father figure in a way as well, also was killed. Right. And she feel like she probably has some kind of guilt for not being able to prevent it. So she's got more of a layer of focus and determination to get revenge than she necessarily did in the game. So that's one thing that's a change that you could either see as a positive or negative. I personally don't mind it.
Yeah, same.
I think it's a good change overall.
But the fact that Ellie's it's kind of like in the game, in the show, they kind of reverse roles. Yeah. Because Ellie's very much the happy-go-lucky one this time, rather than Dina was in the game.
Yeah, so Dina was a lot more the free spirit in the first game, in the game.
But I feel like if they would have kind of had that same focus, I feel like that this would make the show better than it is now. But yeah, because I'll tell you now, when they fight the stalkers, like you said, I really enjoyed that scene too. Like, that was scary. It was heart-wrenching. It was dark. It was
dreadful.
Like and just seeing like you see like the antlers that they have on their heads or whatever like that, and then
a really good scene of that, or a really good like moment in that, was when as they're walking through the building. Initially, it seems like there's only maybe 2 or 3, but then they turn around and it's like the whole building, the whole floor has nothing but stalkers in it.
So it's kind of like Smile 2 with that one scene where there was a whole bunch of people. Like was in what's her name from Power Rangers turns around, she sees one person, she turns around again, a whole bunch of people show up and try to get that's how it felt. That's how it felt, yeah.
And it was really, really well done. It made me feel like I was playing a section in the game where the stalkers would show up and you kind of had to be on edge. You didn't know how many there were. You didn't know when they were going to show up. So that was a really, really good way to kind of bring the game to life. I really enjoyed that aspect of it a lot.
100%. Yeah, same here. Another thing I will say that I loved about this episode was really the ending. When she finally finds...
the ending was the best part. She got that dog in her now.
Yeah. When she exactly. Because when she found what's her name? Nora. We just watched the episode 2. Crazy work. But when she found Nora... I like the difference between this one and the game. Like, she seems more focused and, like, cold, rather, like... Because in the game, she was like, where's Joel? And this one, she's like, where's Joel?
Yeah.
Where's Joel? Like, that kind of, like, that Terminator RoboCop type of feeling. Where she's like, you can clearly, she's mad, but she's ready to, like, yeah, exactly.
And a fun fact, the actress that plays Nora actually is the same one that's going to be in Naughty Dog's new game, Intergalactic, if you peep. Her name is Tati something.
Is she
bald ass head and all? Shit look like a basketball. You can fall in that shit. But hey, I digress though. She does a really good job as Nora. I think that she really sold it. Cause I think that
she cut her hair, right? Like she cut it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But in the game, I think that with Nora, I think that she did a good job of bringing Nora to life because we don't really know too much about Nora's character for real. We don't really get that much time with her, especially one-on-one by herself. But from what we know of Nora, she's very loyal and she's very much about her friends, protecting them. Because in the game, I remember this specifically, Ellie asking her, when she first confronts her, Ellie asking Nora where Abby was at. And she's like, oh, I won't give up my friend. That's pretty much the biggest thing that I noticed with Nora is that she had that loyalty in protecting her friends. But in this version, Ellie asks where Abby's at, and Nora kind of just stays silent. She doesn't say that specifically. So I don't know if I can say that that's a change for real or if that's just more so them just for whatever reason omitting that dialogue. But to me, that was kind of a change.
Right. No, I agree. Another big change that I like.
And it makes me question how she really feels about Abby. I'm wondering how different Abby's dynamics in her group is here compared to the game.
Right, because in the game, like, they like her at first, but as time goes on, they eventually start seeing that Abby's being kind of a bitch.
I think in the game, they already kind of felt a way about Abby to begin with, but they were kind of being more cordial. But as time went on, that's when you start to see those relationships unravel, especially between her and Mel, which I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see how they portray that.
With the baby?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Her and Owen as well, like...
They got tension, but a different type of tension.
Yeah, exactly.
As we come to find out later on in the game, but hey, we'll see what they do with this.
Yeah. So all I know is I also like that Nora tells Ellie that pretty much what Ellie already knows about Joel killing Abby's dad and his dad and the third, and Ellie's like, I know. I'm like,
which that was carried over from the game.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it was in there.
Oh, okay. Like the whole room and everything, it being red and the chase scene itself, like she's like, and he really deserved it.
I think that was in the game.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember that.
The imagery is carried over from the game.
Like I want Ellie to blast after that. Like he deserved. Okay, bam. That's simple and plain.
Exactly.
Let's get it out the way. No chase scene. No, get her. Like that chase scene was cool too, though. I really do like the WLF, the Wolves. The WLF has like a concept as well. Like, there's always been one of my favorite parts of the game, and they're one of my favorite parts of this show.
For sure.
Like I mentioned in the 1 through 4 recap, I like how Isaac, they give him more of something to do instead of just being this, like, this almost this enigmatic figure that just looks outside a window. Oh, what have you brought for me? Like Emperor Palpatine type shit. So I really like the WLF. I can't wait to see more of them from Abby's perspective.
I agree.
And possibly season 3. I'm pretty sure, because
I wouldn't
that game is long.
It's gonna have to be. I believe what they're gonna do is they're gonna split it between, like how in the game, half the game is Ellie's perspective and then half of the game is Abby's. I think this season is gonna be Ellie's perspective, and then we're gonna switch towards Abby's either next season or the very end of this one.
Right.
That's what I think is gonna happen.
I think it's gonna be next season, because the game itself was long as it is.
Yeah.
And really because of Abby's section, and that's where a lot of controversy came from, because you get to play as the person that killed everybody's favorite character. But
exactly. So I cannot wait to see.
But you get to play as Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat. He kills a whole bunch of people, and I hope hear nobody complain about that. So there, yeah.
I think with this personally, it's gonna be very interesting to see how the reception towards her character could be different just based on Caitlin Dever as an actress and what she brings to the role, and just how they change her perspective. Who knows if they can even do Yara Left? They could do something completely different. I highly doubt it, just because of how essential that was and kind of turning Abby's character over. So we'll see. But so far, this for me was definitely the best episode. I think this was an improvement. Easily. I liked a lot of what I saw, especially that ending. That was the first real home run for me this season outside of the assault on Jackson. So overall, it's trending in a positive direction.
Right.
I definitely think that this was almost a comeback episode, at least to me.
I agree. I just hope that the tone shifts just a tad from being this slow, oh, let's go, where are we going next, then gets gritty at the end. No, I hope it's one day, I want one episode to be like gritty from start to finish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. Because that is kind of one concern I do have, is that the switch, now that it's kind of starting, how quick is it going to be?
Right.
Like, you think that she's going to flip a switch and then just become what she was in part 2 the whole way? Or is it going to be a slow, gradual descent?
Right. I want it to be a slow, gradual
That's
descent.
what
I'm not even going to lie.
I want to see how it's going to affect her relationship, not with just Dina, but Jesse. He's there now. Tommy's there. We haven't seen him, but we know he's in the city.
Right. I'll say this. One part of the game that I did like was when Abby's with some other dude. I forgot his name. Manny, thank you. And he's... What?
Boy, I tell you, the way he went out, Tommy was out for blood.
Yeah, Tom. Because the thing is, they were looking for a sniper.
We didn't realize it was Tommy until we got to that point.
But when I played the game, though, as soon as I saw the pow, I was like, oh, shit.
And what's crazy is that bullet was meant for Abby. Because originally, she's on that side that Manny's on when they're trying to open the door.
Yeah.
And then she moves, and then he gets in position, and then he's in the middle of talking, and Tommy blows, half his head off. And then he's walking through, like he's moving to the side. Got a bead on her. Literally, she barely managed to survive. That's one of my favorite parts.
I'm talking about when I played the game. There's a sniper. My dumb ass gonna press circle to stand up. Bam! And I'm like, that's what I meant. And then game over. I was like, my nigga, he can see us. Like,
oh yeah, no. Tommy was playing for keeps.
Yeah, I just like, I didn't expect that. I wasn't mad at it, so I'm like, all right, let's stay low.
One thing I love about that game didn't pull any punches. 100%. That is the main thing I've always loved about that game. That game just was like, whatever you loved in the first game, we're going to put it to the test. Kill Joel. At the time, you think Tommy, because remember when Abby gets to the theater, which we'll see what they do with this.
Right.
When Abby gets to the theater and then Abby killed Jesse, spoiler alert. I probably shouldn't have said that.
we probably shouldn't have said half the shit we just said.
But I mean,
if you play the games, then you know.
You already know. And then just the way Abby was a dog in the game, I don't know how they're going to translate that into the show. Because obviously, Jesse in this continuity is way bigger. Tommy is way bigger. So how are they going to do that?
Right.
But that remains to be seen. But overall, positive review for this episode.
Cause I 100%, man. Like this, I'd say this is the best episode so far.
For sure. So I'm coming around to it.
I'll say episode 2. For me, it's the best episode.
2 and 5 for sure.
Yeah. But nah. With that being said, man, I've been Jay.
This has been Rodney.
And we're at LATD. We got more videos coming soon.
Yes, sir, as always.
Maybe a wrap up coming soon. We don't know. Get our boy DJ back up in here. But with that being said, remember everybody to look at them damn details. Peace.